What's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant, y'all. Got a lot of things to talk about. We got the FA Cup final between Liverpool and Chelsea to talk about. Went to penalties, and we all know Liverpool won their second trophy for the season. We've talked about Arsenal possibly blowing fourth place and handing it over to Tottenham. Will Tottenham seal it, or will they mess that up? Also, ramifications at the bottom of the table, like Everton messed up and Leeds got a draw and Burnley lost by 1 to Spurs. So we'll examine who may go down. What is it called? It's called what Sunday? Championship Sunday coming up?
I'm not sure everything happens on that last Sunday, though.
Yeah. They call it something on the TV out here, but I forgot what they call it, Championship Sunday or something like that, the final Sunday of the Premier League. So we're going to get into all that. Just want to say thank you for everybody that's watching and listening on iTunes and YouTube and Omni Studio and at allthingscomedy.com. Shout out to Aaron Brungardt, producer, for putting this together. And the sponsor for the podcast is onthevolleyapparel.com. Go there for tanks, tees, hoodies, and sweatshirts. Use our promo code Comic Rant, get 20% off. We also have our t-shirts there, Soccer Comic Rant t-shirts there, if you want to check them out and cop yourself one or get somebody a gift. That's our merch. And we have one of the usual suspects. Either one or the other two might join. We'll see what happens. But right now, it's just me and Lee Hudson, stand-up comic from England, Southampton fan. You can see him in the shirt, chilling.
Hey,
yeah.
I'm trying to bring some positive vibes before tomorrow.
Yeah, you got. Just speaking of that, tomorrow it's Liverpool versus Southampton, right?
Yeah.
And so Liverpool is your feeder club. You gave them possibly half the players that they're going to use to try to win the title, unless would the team that gave them the players put up a fight to stop those players from winning a title?
They haven't got that much nowadays. I think Van Dijk and Mane are probably the only two in there that are
right.
That are from us. But yeah, it's still two key players for them. But yeah, it'll be an interesting game. I mean, the whole football world has written it off as a Liverpool win already, which, I feel kind of aggrieved about, because, I mean, to be fair, we've been terrible recently, but
yes, you have.
on our day we can show up. So
right.
Who knows, if the Liverpool players are as complacent as everyone else is, then they might be in for a problem, because, I mean, our fans have booed us off the pitch the last few games. So I think people are going to be hurting. They're going to want to finish. It's our last home game of the season. People are going to want to finish with a good performance, hopefully. So who knows?
There's no Van Dijk or Salah tomorrow for Liverpool.
Has that been confirmed? I know they both went off in the final.
I didn't know. I mean, that's what they just said on USA, which broadcast the Premier League games out here. They broadcast that after the game today where Arsenal lost.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not going to complain if those two guys are missing. It means that the huge task is ever so slightly more possible. But I mean, the guys they can throw in aren't exactly that far off the level. So,
right.
I'm guessing it'll be a front three of probably Firmino, Diaz, and Mane, or Jota in there, which isn't bad. And Matip and Konate at the back will still be tough to get past. So,
right, they got Gomez and they got people they could use. So it should be a tough game. But I wouldn't be surprised if Southampton pulled off a surprise. Just football is weird. Like, even Newcastle today, everybody's saying, well, I guess I won't stray. I won't get into it. Neil is here. What's up, Neil?
Hey, all good.
Good. We were trying to wait for you, but you're trying to avoid talking about the cup final.
No, I was on the road and I was seeing your messages that, I was like, it'd be really great if Aaron is a little more late. Did you guys already speak about the cup final?
No, we kind of saved that. So Chelsea, we talked about it last week, and you kind of prophesized it. We all kind of prophesized it. But now that it happened and Liverpool beat Chelsea, what do you think of the game? And just what do you think overall?
I mean, it was a close game. I think it was a lesser version of the League Cup game, because it was still two teams going toe to toe and in a sense balancing themselves out, canceling themselves out, but it wasn't as high quality as the League Cup. I think the League Cup game was one of the best games of the season. So this was more or less a end of the season version of that. Players are tired. I think managers have their eyes on a lot of other things, and even though you could see that the quality that exists in these two teams was there, but even tactically, but physically it wasn't as high tempo game as the League Cup final, and especially near the end of the second half, I think both teams are down for the count. So yeah, I mean, Chelsea, we've had this problem. We've spoken about this so many times. When we create chances, we have spells in games when we are on top. We never seem to be able to, take advantage of that. And it was surprising that when Liverpool had their chances, they could, because they're usually a clinical team, but in both this game and the League Cup game, when they had their chances, they could not take advantage either. So I just feel like we should have probably gone in for the kill a little bit more in that extra time, because I think by getting that extra attacker on and not take Lukaku off at that moment, because even the both teams were, physically tiring. I think Liverpool was tiring a little bit more than us. We probably could have taken advantage of that and gone for the jugular, but yeah, I think we missed a trick there. You leave it to penalties, anything can happen.
Why do you think he took Lukaku off? Lukaku's good at penalties, right?
Yeah, he's probably our best penalty taker after Jorginho.
And who did he put in for Lukaku?
He put, I think he put Ziyech in.
So why do you think he did that? Is that weird, or?
I think we weren't really creating a lot of chances with that combination, to be fair. So he just probably wanted some fresh legs, but I feel at that point, at that stage, you'd want to, we went in for a 4-man midfield, which I've rarely ever seen him try at Chelsea. And we had Jorginho, at one point we had Jorginho, Kante, Loftus-Cheek together as a 3-man midfield. And then, it was 3-man midfield because you still had the wing backs. And we just had Mason Mount and Ziyech up top. And even Mount is, more or less a midfielder converted to a forward. So we really weren't doing enough to take control of the game. And Liverpool had some chances in this. I think Liverpool entire extra time they did almost nothing. I don't even think they had a shot. I might be mistaken. Pretty sure they didn't have a shot on target, but in the second half, they had near the end, they had some great chances to kill the game. But yeah, when it goes down to penalties, I really don't want to, I think we had the right people out there. Even without Lukaku, I think we had the people who missed the penalty, Aspilicueta, he's taken penalties a lot and you expect him to score. Mount, I think he's, if Jorginho and Lukaku don't play, he's our first penalty taker in the Premier League. So you expect him to score. It's just one of those things,
Yeah, it's just
I'm
one of those
surprised
things
how calm Ross Barkley was when he took his. He didn't even touch the ball in the extra time when he came on, and he took that penalty like it was a training game.
I think that's the only thing he's been doing in training. So
he spends
I'm not
a lot
surprised.
of time alone with it by himself with the ball. So
yeah,
he should be
Yeah, the team are training over on one field, and he's just on another field on his own, just kicking penalties into an empty goal.
That was kind of like that specialist move by Tuchel to just, because Loftus-Cheek had only come on 10-15 minutes earlier, so he got him on and then took him off. Kind of shows how low the confidence is on Barkley, because he knew the penalties are coming and he knew there was only 10-15 minutes left. He just wouldn't put Barkley even for that. So
has Barkley even been on the bench like recently? I don't remember.
Very rarely. Yeah.
I heard it was something like his first spot in a matchday squad since January or something crazy.
Yeah, possibly. Because in the Premier League, we don't really get to have a big squad, right? Because it's only 3 subs. It's only the cup games, but even the cup games, he hasn't really been playing. I think the only time I remember Barkley actually making an impact in the season is the game against you guys, Lee. The first leg where we scored later on, Barkley pinged across to Aspilicueta, Timo Werner scored. So, yeah, he's, it's probably the last thing he's done in the Chelsea shirt. I expect him to leave this summer.
What do you think about not switching goalkeepers?
Yeah, I didn't like that move. I thought he should have switched goalkeepers.
You think he should have? Then who would have saved
Mendy's, Mane's?
Yeah.
I think you should still go with the data. Like, it's clear that Kepa is more of a special. I know Kepa didn't save any in the 10 penalty kicks in the League Cup final, but I don't think their qualities as a penalty kick specialists have changed in 2 months. So I would have still, gone ahead with the right call. That Mane kick, it was a really poor penalty kick. So, I don't think Mendy is. You just gotta accept that he's a great keeper, but penalties aren't for him.
Do you feel like what happened in the Carabao Cup changed Tuchel's mind?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%, 100%.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't like that.
I don't know. He got close. He got close to a couple of other ones where he got a hand to, but I think the Mane one. I think the Mane poor penalty was because he knew it was Mendy as well. Yeah. It's a guy that he's trained with at the African nations and stuff. Who knows where he's probably going to go. So I think it got in his head a little bit. So I don't know if he would have. He might have been more confident against Kepa, but then you don't know what Kepa would have done against the others. So it's all possibility, isn't it?
Yeah, Mane was definitely in his head when he came up against his Senegalese teammate. It's like this person knows every trick that I've tried in training, and it's like, yeah, and then he didn't take it good enough. Like, you could almost feel the moment happening. Like when he walked up, you're like, oh shit, these people know each other. They won the African Cup of Nations together, and they qualified against
and on penalties. So I'm sure in the lead up to that game, there was a lot of penalty drills going around.
Yeah. So it's just that's a tough one. It's a good thing Alisson made that save, and then Samika's just coming on like Ross Barkley style, putting the ball in the back of the net to win. Like that ball just went in the inside and grazed the all net. I don't even think a goalkeeper could get to it if he gets the right way. So how'd you feel about losing? How did the whole bar in San Diego?
Oh, it was brutal. Like, I don't think the League Cup thing hit me as much. Like this one, like I was down the entire day, and like a part of Sunday, I had to eat a really big, heavy seafood lunch on Sunday to get over this.
So at least you could treat yourself. I feel like Chelsea had a weird season.
It's just it's just the falling at the last hurdle every single time that doesn't feel good.
Are you sure you're not exaggerating with every single time? Because what I was gonna say is, I feel like Chelsea forgets that they won
the Champions League,
the Champions League, but not only just the Champions League,
the Club World Cup,
But is that an example of how insignificant the Club World Cup is? It's the Club World Cup, but it doesn't. It's like, yeah, we did that fine.
Yeah.
Forget about it. Like, we're trying to win this FA Cup and you don't even mention it. Or it's like it didn't even happen.
I think the Club World Cup is good as a topping, like after you've done something else significant. And it was really significant for Chelsea as a club this time, because that's the one trophy we never won. So we finished the set with that trophy. But if you have to analyze the entire season, I think we had a few targets, and of course there's like circumstances, there's context to all of it, but getting to the finals, like it's now 5 out of 6 finals that we've lost domestically, and third final in like less than 18 months under Tuchel, and lose all of them. And sometimes I feel I have a theory, like teams, they don't really get over such runs until something seismic happens.
You said they don't what?
They don't really get over such such patterns.
Again, you say that, but it's the same team that won Champions League and it's like they won something, they lose something, they lose something, or they won something, they lose something, they won something, or they won something, they won something, then they lose something, they lose something.
The thing is that in previous years, what you're saying exactly, that's how it happened. So last year we lost the FA Cup final, we didn't feel that bad because we entered the season winning the Champions League. The season before that, we lost the FA Cup final. Didn't feel that bad because a young team under Lampard, which we weren't expecting to finish in top 4 and get us Champions League, got us Champions League. The year before that, we lost the League Cup final. Didn't feel that bad because he ended the season winning the Europa League, beating Arsenal. The season before that was the one where we actually won the FA Cup. That was the one win domestically. And the season before that, again, we lost the FA Cup final, but we won the Premier League. So there's been something to like end the season with a lot of cheer and positivity. This time, we lost the League Cup final brutally, lost the FA Cup final brutally on penalties. Went out in the Champions League by a razor-thin edge, so that doesn't feel good. Had a great start to the Premier League season, fell away. And the team is kind of disintegrating. Like, the spine of the team, the defense that Tuchel had created, which was a strong point. The biggest improvements that has happened under Tuchel have been there. That is, like Rudiger's gone, Christensen's gone, Azpilicueta is gone, Jorginho's probably gone, Kante is almost all the time injured. So we're kind of setting ourselves 2 seasons back without.
You're saying these things to a Southampton and a Man United fan,
but also
like you have problems.
But also, I like how he listed all the finals that they failed and still ignored the club World Championship, which they won this season.
It's not just the Club World Cup. We won the Super Cup too this season.
So it's like, what are you saying, bro? Like, I think you like fans, man. Fans be hard.
No, we're not. I'm not being hard on the team because I think the team played well.
The shit you don't have more than the shit you do have.
No, I think the team played well because taking Liverpool to extra time penalties in the kind of season they're having versus the kind of season we're having, they haven't beaten us all season, like in normal normal time. But so it's really credible what the team and the manager have done in those final games. But I'm just stating the reality of where Chelsea is right now as a club. This was supposed to be the bridge season to either be the season that you compete for the league or at least be the bridge season to compete next year. I think it had the potential to be the bridge season, but because of the things that are happening with the people leaving and the fact that there is another burden of 2 finals lost, I think we kind of regressed instead of at least staying where we were at the end of last season.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about your defensive issues and stuff like that, and all those players leaving, and you have these new owners. But the good thing, you have like at least and the amount of money that they're going to reinvest into the club. It's just like in this off season, there's a lot of work to do to put the team back together and create a new, like at least defensive spine. So this is what are these owners, do you know so far they're going to keep like the people that are there that have been doing a good job under
I think the coaching staff they're going to keep, definitely.
But what about like the transfer people, the people that pull off like like is it Marina or Maria?
Marina. Well,
Yeah.
I think they will be there for the transition period unless and until there's some sort of orders from above that say no, we can't have any links to Abramovich running in the day-to-day running of the club, which of course Marina Granskaya and Bruce Buck, who are now the chairman and the director, are the two people who have had a long association with Abramovich. So maybe they have to go for that reason. I think but I think the new owners have said that they like to keep them on for to help aid in the transition process.
Yeah,
but I'm actually not that bothered even if they go. Like it's not like they've been putting up trees when they've been here. There's a lot of stuff that they've got wrong too. So I'm okay if they leave. But even if they're like, I think the new owners, we are gonna spend money this season. I think we are gonna reinvest in the club. But it doesn't really matter. Like when you have to completely rejig your backline, you're not gonna win anything that season. So
I mean, I hope you're right. I don't want y'all progressing. Lee, what did you think of the game or just anything around it, about it?
I thought it was an interesting game. Like it was, the momentum kept like swinging in the game. Like Liverpool came out really strong, and for the first probably 20 minutes or so were on top, and then Chelsea came back into it, had a couple of big chances. But I think Neil hit the nail on the head. Like just neither team looked like they were clinical enough to win the game. I think after extra time as well, each team had only had 2 shots on target each. Like every big chance they got, they didn't even work the keepers or hit the target kind of thing. I think Alisson made a couple of saves on the Chelsea ones, but they weren't working him regularly. It was people missing the target. Like Lukaku had a good shot where he ran onto the ball and then just smashed it over the bar. And Milner had that one for Liverpool late on where he should have scored and he shinned it into the side netting. So yeah, it was interesting tactically as well. Just like I say, that momentum shift kept sort of swinging back and forth. It was quite entertaining to watch. It was almost like a low energy basketball game kind of thing.
Towards the end or
one end to the other. Even from the beginning, like Neil said, it wasn't as intense as the previous game, but it was still, I thought it was really engrossing to watch. Just 2 teams with top players going up against each other. I thought it was interesting that they chose not to bring Werner on for Chelsea though, because the Liverpool fullbacks go forward and there's space in those channels to counter into, and no one was really running those channels for Chelsea that effectively.
I think Werner had an injury. Tuchel said that in the post-match.
Okay.
Yeah, we were all surprised. Like
everybody was saying,
yeah.
Like
a couple of times he got up like he was looking
he
was going to prep.
Apparently, he had some sort of a hamstring thing that they didn't want to risk.
So, that makes sense.
Yeah, because especially when you could see like some of their players were tiring, that's where you really want Werner there. So, yeah. That's why we ended the game with. You know how I was saying in the group chat, like how we playing only with 2 forwards. That's because Havertz and Werner were injured. Hudson was anyway injured, so we didn't have anybody to unless you had kept Lukaku on.
How many forwards do you normally play with?
We play with 3.
3, and then 3 midfielders.
2 midfielders, 2 wing backs.
Okay, yeah. Well, you lost, bro. Sorry.
I do want to say that game was one of the first times I've seen Trent Alexander Arnold actually defend as a fullback.
You guys are disrespectful.
But
commentators are disrespectful. Everybody's so disrespectful to this guy.
No, but a lot of games you can actually see the teams targeting them, and he does fall asleep.
I think it's a foul. I think
he fell asleep once this game, but he was really competent. He was at it.
I think it's a fallacy. Like, yeah, if you're a defender, you're gonna get beat. It's like whenever somebody has to play Liverpool, especially last week, and yeah, Spurs. What did this? Spurs made Liverpool drop points, but everybody leading up to the game is the high line of Liverpool. that high line of Liverpool been high for several seasons, and they got a bunch of trophies and titles. So it's like,
no, but you can still within that criticize and find things into individual players. Like of course it works as a system, but I'm saying like yesterday, even individually, I think Trent defensively was really good during the game.
I think he 95% of the time is, but every time somebody picks at Liverpool, for some reason they definitely pick
Target
at him.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the
But
standards
like
at Liverpool are
commentators, not-
really high.
I just don't. He defends better than the next best, probably right back in the league.
No way. He doesn't defend better than Reece James.
I mean, he's got more trophies recently,
But that's a different conversation. That's
no,
a
it's
different
not,
conversation.
because you don't. If you're not playing the good defense, you're not winning trophies. Even go back to the Barcelona game.
Liverpool
at
has a good
Anfield.
defense. Liverpool
Barcelona
has a good
didn't
defense.
score.
Liverpool has a good defense, but
He's a part of it.
He's a part of it, but he isn't the guy. If a team has to target Liverpool, they're always going to go at him.
And I think they're stupid because it doesn't work.
But
as
it
much
works.
as they think.
It works. We've seen it work at Chelsea, and I've seen a lot of other teams go and target. Because
is that why Liverpool is second, right behind Man City? They're in the Champions League final.
I mean, Trent makes up for
two
it.
cups.
But Trent makes up for it in a lot of other things too. So he is a world-class player going forward. And on the evidence of a few games, you can almost say that, hey, maybe if he can cut out. I think it's a focus thing too. I've read growing up through his youth career, he wasn't really a defender. So maybe it's just an awareness, a reflex thing that it's not his first. It's not the first thing that intuitively comes to him.
I still think there's probably some points in some games where he's done it, but overall, I think it's an exaggeration of analysts pointing towards him. I don't think it's close.
I think
to what people are saying it is.
I think you can have a big reel of Trent.
Klopp wouldn't play him. You think Klopp would play him if you know what I mean?
Well, what's Klopp's other option? I mean, not playing him. Trent is a cheat code going forward.
You know what he would do? You know what Klopp would do?
Yeah.
What happened to Karius? I can
no,
name
but Karius
Klopp
is
just
not
got
good
rid of.
at anything. Trent is world class. Like Trent is probably the reason why Liverpool ticks as all the goals you see of Salah, Mane.
Klopp got rid of so many people.
He didn't get off anybody who had some world class qualities.
Moreno
was not. Moreno was not a world class fullback. Right.
Also, if he's a world class fullback, you can't be like.
He's not a world class defender. Now, in the modern game, a fullback can impact a game in a lot of other ways too. So,
I think you're wrong. I just disagree 100%, just based on trophies. It's just.
But I don't think you can have that conversation just based on trophies because.
But it's not just based on trophies. It's just like when you watch Match of the Day or any of the shows.
Like we've seen David Luiz.
There's no constant
So let me finish. David Luiz has one more.
Let me finish. I listened a lot, and every time I say something, you interrupt. It's like just based on Match of the Day and other shows, when they pinpoint the actual mistakes that teams make or players make on teams. Like there's no weekend of Match of the Day that I watched this week where I say, here's where Trent Alexander Arnold fucked up. Like I don't see like Match of the Day after Match of the Day where they do highlight Liverpool a lot, where they point to this deficiency that everybody says exists. I think is very over-exaggerated and overhyped.
But if you're saying like that, commentators and analysts do point that out. So somewhere somebody is.
But can I say why they say it? Because they say a lot of cliche shit. And that's my problem with commentators. Like sometimes they have nothing to say, so they say the thing that somehow, and it's just one of my pet peeves with football. There's so many cliches in football that they be like, I'm trying to think of another example of one.
Kante is a DM, like that keeps happening. Like Kante should be sitting back. Kante has never sat back.
Right. So something like that. So that's not true. You know what I mean? It's like, so everybody says it. Like, and listen, and you know who's saying it too? because you would agree that there's a lot of bad people commenting.
Oh yeah.
So we're listening to these guys build this. The more you say something, the more true it becomes, because everybody just keeps hearing it all the time, and it just gets imprinted on your brain.
But I see it, like when we play Liverpool, we see it every time. Like, and this is actually
I didn't see it yesterday.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, this is the first time I've actually was like, wow, this guy can actually defend. Because this is the first time he's actually surprised me. Because we tried and we couldn't get past him.
Go ahead, Lee. So I see you want to say something.
I think largely it's because of how Klopp asks his fullbacks to play, though. Like with him and Robertson, because he asked them to play so high up the field. Like he asked them to play like wingers because they play with those two forwards, which is either Mane, Diaz, or Salah is inverted. They tuck in,
right,
and the width comes from the fullbacks. And if he's asking them to play so high up the field, they're gonna have instances where they're caught out and they look like they're out of position. But that's because they're asked to play like that because of the system Liverpool use. So I think there'll always be that. Like if he, I think if Alexander Arnold played for a different manager, you'd see a different side to his game. I think he is capable of doing it, but he's in the team because of how they want to play, kind of thing. So I think it's the system.
I would agree
the system puts him in that position. Like there is. I think it's a known weakness that Liverpool have, that you can expose them in behind the fullbacks, but that's because of how they're asked to play, not because they're bad at doing that.
Right, and I think it's that, and then based on the trophies and the amount of wins Liverpool has this season and other season, that's how good he is. He's put into a system that exposes him, and they've still won. And that's why I think he's a world-class defender, because he has to play more exposed than most right backs or wing backs.
But you don't hear the same criticism of Robertson, though, in the same system. Nobody's going out.
I wouldn't believe it for either, to be honest.
Yeah, but you don't hear that. You don't hear Robertson being criticized for his defensive qualities.
But I wouldn't believe it if they said it for Robertson, and I don't believe it for Trent. And I would say it's more like what Lee said. It's like Salah has a center forward amount of goals. That means he's always in. There's also the thing that Salah doesn't come back and defend either, and help him and support him. And I see that that's a lie too. That Salah does come back and he does help defend. Like even in this game, I saw him back like late in the game, like stopping something.
But you don't actually hear that. Like you're talking about Salah. I've heard this about Henderson too. That Henderson's job is to protect. Like that Trent looks exposed only because Hendo doesn't protect him. Like this is the first time I consistently as a pattern you hear about the fullback who is a defender, who's other people in the team are supposed to, like Van Dijk's supposed to look after him, Henderson's supposed to look after him, Salah's supposed to track back and help him out. You don't get that sort of protection in if you're talking about just world-class defenders. They're supposed to do their job both ways at all times.
I just think you're just ignoring the system to make your argument.
No. I understand the system. In fact, one of the things is with this, and it's not just Trent. Even that highline is not just Trent can't play highline on his own. It's all four, right? You're not hearing that about the other.
I feel like it's football and there's risks, and what they're gaining and what he does outweighs the risk, and the risks that but the risks that are created that exposes him is not his fault. It's the system. And like I agree with Lee, like, or maybe you just admitted it or said it, that if he played for somebody else in a different system, they'd be like, they would not be. I just don't think people would be saying this about him.
Well, we have an example of another system, another manager that he can potentially play for, and that manager refuses to play him.
Who?
The England manager, because it's a different system. It'd be probably not suited for a different system. So that hypothetical probably.
I think he likes Walker for speed, but he plays him. He's just injured the last. He wants it.
I think he's third on the depth chart at England, behind Walker and Reece.
I don't think that's a defensive thing. I think he's been injured.
We'll find out at the World Cup.
Yeah, we'll find out at the World Cup. Yeah,
I think they should play.
Because he was
I think they should play both Reece and Trent together. They just need to not play Trent as a fullback.
Play him as a what?
I think they probably have a space in midfield, or if you're playing wing backs, play Trent as a wing back and Reece James as a right centre back.
So then what
4-3
happens
or something.
to Bellingham? What happens to like all the other usual suspects? Henderson.
I think Trent going forward is so
Phillips,
good that you can. I think Trent going forward is
Declan
so
Rice.
good that you can kick anybody out of the team if you're not if you're playing him in that sort of a creative role.
Yeah, and then we're talking about two different coaches. So one is way more conservative than the other. One would never take the chances that Klopp takes to go forward. Like Lee was just describing like the system, and they want him going forward. They're basically wingers. Like they're more wingers than backs, or they do both. But like Southgate ain't trying to like expose. Like if Southgate just believed more, we would be European champions. He's a good coach, but if he just took the chances, like Italy took the chances, they changed their whole style of play for decades and said we are gonna go on the front foot, and we're gonna, and they went for it, and they won, and we're playing our game, and we're like, how could we be more conservative in this final? From half to half to extra, and they're only probably in extra time when they put on Saka, and they try to like go for it a little bit, but yeah.
The thing is, we've probably got the players to play a similar system to Liverpool. Like you could have, Foden and Sterling, or Foden and Grealish playing those inverted winger roles with Kane in the middle, and you could have, Trent or Reece James on the right and Chilwell or even Saka on the left. But the problem is though that when Liverpool play that system, they have Van Dijk at centre back. But the problem is if England do it and they got Harry Maguire there getting exposed, it's
Jesus.
that's why it's different.
Yeah, that is a
yeah.
I have nothing to say to that. Nothing.
We got some of the pieces of the puzzle, but we haven't got all the same pieces that Liverpool have.
Yeah.
Harry Maguire and Eric Dyer.
Yeah, Van Dijk. The problem is Van Dijk is not English. That's a huge problem. So what else? This is confusing in a way. Like, what else was the biggest thing or the biggest game this weekend? Was it Burnley, Tottenham? Was it West Ham, Man City? Was it?
I think West Ham City.
Everton game. Was it? So you said West Ham, Man City because of the title, the Premiership title ramifications of the 2-2.
Absolutely.
And because I'm enjoying the possibility of Everton getting relegated more than the possibility of Man City winning another title. So so what do you like? I knew Man City had the potential to get tripped up. It wasn't the other games. So it's funny. The two games ago, I was like, it's going to happen here. And then Man City blew them out. And then last week, was it Newcastle?
Newcastle.
And I said, it's going to happen here. And Man City blew them out. So this week, I was just like, all right, Man City's going to win. And then West Ham showed up with no more European aspirations. Like they could completely commit to a game in the Premier League without being distracted with their small squad. And even though they still had some players out, all those players had to do was play for points in the Premier League and try to get like a Europa League spot. And they showed up, and then let me see, I'm forgetting some names here.
Jarrod Bowen.
Well, I want to talk about Bowen, but I also want to talk about Antonio. Like, he really got physical with that Man City defense, and like, showed up and occupied them a lot, and I think that helped. And Jarrod Bowen's like trying to it feels like he's trying to sneak into Southgate's team with his black first name. Jared Bowen. Ever met a white Jared before? Was that the Subway Names guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people stopped naming their kids after that guy.
But Jared Bowen is going to bring the name Jared back to white people because. But yeah, he's having a pretty good season, you know, and he got those 2 goals in, played like, you know, he played his ass off. And
I think him and Antonio were probably rubbing their hands together when they saw Fernandinho on the team sheet as centre back.
Yeah. And then Antonio blew that chance that Fernandinho, that back pass.
Yeah, when he tried the little chip.
Yeah, he tried to trip. Yeah. It's probably too finesse for Antonio.
Yeah, but he's more, just power and
yeah. He's more of a
but that would have killed the game as well, because that was 2-1. Would have made it 3-1. I think there's about 10-15 minutes left, so it would have finished the game off for them. But yeah, big miss.
Do you think that was a penalty?
The one that got saved?
The one that got saved, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a penalty. Dawson stepped across and put his leg across his run, brought him down. I don't think he was going anywhere with the run, which means Dawson didn't need to put the leg in, but you know, he did it. He gave away the penalty. I think it definitely was a penalty. I think they should have had one in the first half maybe as well.
Oh yeah,
for a kick on. There was a kick on Jesus in the area from Zuma. It didn't get given. It was one of those ones where it might get given, it might not, but I thought it was probably a penalty. He sort of kicked through his leg and sent him down when the ball was bouncing around in the box.
I'm trying to remember that one. I just normally don't believe any penalty on Jesus, or because he's such a diver. Like even the one that they gave, I was like, I've seen that move where you try to put your foot in the way of the tackle, and it was almost like shoulder to shoulder. So they both were trying to do that, but then with the fact that the last person who touched the ball was Jesus, he when he reached that ball, Dawson was trying to block him out of it, and I felt like it was more of a shoulder to shoulder, and Jesus has kind of overplayed the ball. So I'm like, I'm just anti him. And what's the guy at Everton that's Brazilian? Like, just divers, man. Richarlison, just divers, bro. Just put on the speed. They should play in Speedos and diving caps, because they're just divers. But anything else you thought about the game?
I was surprised how they got that opportunity with the 3-2, and they still fluffed it, like with the penalty. Because Mahrez is usually a cool penalty taker. I was actually trying to figure out like who is their usual penalty taker, because I would have just assumed it would be De Bruyne all the time.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought.
So I don't know if this is something that, because with Pep, here's another thing, right? Like it's so tough to understand some of the things he does, because he is also a maverick. So a lot of times he just changes things around, and there's no pattern to it. So how crucial this could be, the league right there. So I don't know if this was another one of hers. I think, Lee, you mentioned that Mahrez has been pretty consistent with his penalty kicks off late. So
yeah, he scored like 7 this season.
Yeah, maybe
that's a lot.
Maybe it's not the worst call. I just trust De Bruyne in the kind of form that he is right now. But West Ham, it felt like they had nothing to play for, but looks like they're coming for the Conference League spot. Or the Europa League spot, sorry.
Right. I think even more than that, like, especially like on the last game of the season, when teams have nothing to play for, what always gets the team that seems to have nothing to play for up is spoiling something for somebody else. Like British teams, club teams love doing that shit. Like you could be like Norwich, whoever Norwich got to play this weekend, like if I'm them, I'd be like training like we're playing Liverpool. Like I don't trust Norwich this weekend. Like they're going down, and I know they've kind of been shitty. I think they got a tie this weekend, but that's when like some of the most surprising scores. Like look what happened when Man City won the first title, right? Like they went down in that game. It was at the last minute Aguero, that great week, like, when they won the game in the last minute and took the title from Man United. Like I forgot who they were playing, but that team wasn't supposed to give a team that was on the cusp of winning the title that much trouble. I think we even went down in our game on that day too. It's like you just got to be careful.
Yeah, you guys were playing Sunderland and City were playing QPR.
Right. QPR, they were going down. Didn't they go down that weekend?
I think so.
And they're like, why are you playing now?
Did
had
you
the
see
whole season.
Did you see Rooney's comments this week on that Man City Aguero moment?
What did he say?
He said that because they scored both goals in stoppage time, right?
Right.
Man City, and he said it was kind of weird how QPR just gave the ball away right after kickoff of that first goal. Like, and I'm surprised that nobody even looked at that. So,
it was a conspiracy theorist.
He is alleging some oil money was shifted hands.
but why would they take the lead and make it?
Yeah,
make it
exactly.
Make the game go to the last. They had 90 minutes to give up the game in a legit looking like match fixing way. Like,
nobody would have done.
If you just,
I think the loss had something to do with Joey Barton trying to start like a brawl as well, and getting sent off for trying to fight like 3 people.
Speaking of Joey Barton, he's a coach of a team, and they just moved up. They just won a league.
Bristol Rovers.
So they won. Yeah. What did they win?
I think they got promoted out of League 2 up to League 1.
Right.
They looked like they couldn't do it, and on the last day of the season, they won 7-0 against Scunthorpe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which put them up on goal difference.
Speaking of match fixing, that's where Rooney needs to look. You need 7 goals and you get them. Like, if you want a conspiracy,
it's insane.
Do that there. Like a Joey Barton team needing 7 goals, and he tactically like improved them to the point where they got.
This is crazy. I was just looking at it. They tied on goal difference with that. And I think, they have more goals. So,
and I think when he first got the job, they lost like, I'm gonna say the wrong number, like 9 games in a row, and they still
they were getting pumps. Yeah, he was lucky to keep that job at one point. And he actually did something really weird. He came into that job and he criticized the previous 2 managers and like spoke about what they were doing in training and said that it was all wrong and that they should be. He said that like they should be sued for like negligence because of how bad they were, the previous managers, which was he didn't hold back, which is something people don't normally do.
That's a Trump move.
He's a character. He's also up on an assault charge, I think.
Presently?
Yeah. So,
and he's been to jail.
Yeah. He's an interesting guy.
Yeah. he's England's Charles Barkley. So since that game was the Man City West Ham, what's the next most important game? Was it the Everton Brentford? Was it the Newcastle Arsenal? Was it the Spurs Burnley?
We talk about the 4th place games because I watched Newcastle Arsenal tonight, and that was just a gutless play from Arsenal.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why?
They got bullied.
But
Newcastle just did everything quicker than them, stronger than them. They got outplayed.
But can I tell you who they got bullied by? They got bullied by a team that has won. How many points is it since the beginning of 2020? Like 35 points out of how many points? Let's see.
They've got a lot, yeah.
like the fourth best team form wise, I think, in the league. So maybe Liverpool or Man City's ahead of them. I don't know who the third team would be, but a team after 17 games was in 19th place, and now they're in 11th with a chance to finish in the top. And I remember when Manchester United I don't know if Ragnick was there yet. I think he was, and we went down there to play them, and we tied 1-1, and it was a travesty. Everybody was like, "How embarrassing this is for Manchester United. This was a game we're supposed to win, and blah 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 blah." And now, in retrospect, even like you have to look at Arsenal's loss to Brentford in retrospect and be like, Brentford has gained some respect throughout the season. That wasn't just some team that was just going to get promoted and everybody just trample on. Like, they were in a better position than Arsenal at the time.
Yeah, but like I said, I watched that game, and like the Newcastle fans were loud. Newcastle were pressing high. They were running after everything, and Arsenal just didn't want it. They didn't want it. They crumbled under it, and I think that says a lot about the mentality of a team, especially when they're trying to chase that fourth spot. You've got to be on it to get that, and they just didn't want to know. They crumbled under that pressure from Newcastle. And credit to Newcastle, they got good players. Like, this was another game where Joelinton played amazing. Yeah, guy reborn. He was running after everything. Almiron had a good game. Guimaraes had a good game. Callum Wilson had a good game. So yeah, it was an interesting one. I think Saint-Maximin had one of the quietest games I've seen him have, but even so, like, just the fact that they were doing what they were doing meant that the fact that he wasn't fully at his best didn't really hurt them.
It's like Newcastle has improved so much that Saint-Maximin is not their best player anymore, or it doesn't have to be. And that would be weird, like, to watch a Newcastle game. If Saint-Maximin wasn't firing on all cylinders, then like there was no other options. Now with Guimaraes, which I'm saying his name wrong, like, he played like his ass off today. Like it's him and Joelinton with the same barber getting blonded up and playing like twin midfielders, and like Joelinton is a skilled player. He's a forward, and this motherfucker plays like he was a born like midfielder, and he's using this forward skill like in the back of the field to like hold on to the ball, and he's using his size to like collide with people and hold on to the ball. And Guimaraes wants it too. He wants it. He's stuck. He gets stuck in, and they give that extra effort. And Longstaff is like, all right, hold up, fellas, I'm gonna play with y'all since y'all this is how we playing now. And is that Callum Wilson? Like, he's back, something to prove. He was talking about on the own goal that he watched the last Arsenal game and watched the two defenders get taken off. And he was like, oh, I'm going to play off their shoulder and in between them, because they probably shouldn't even be in the starting lineup and they're injured. So like, that was like premeditated. And Arsenal got injuries too. Like we said at the beginning, or when they started doing well, like kind of in the middle of the season, was like, they're kind of fragile. Like, if they have some injuries, they could lose ground to Tottenham, and those injuries have actually happened. Like, Partey is not there. What's his name? Is Henry is not there. What's the left back? Is that Henry?
Tierney.
Yeah. Tierney's not there. And the Japanese guy that played today, Tomiyasu is just back from an injury, and he got injured today. So they like the tough part of the team, like the glue part, like a part of the part that like takes them over the top, or with what they needed today, was not there. And to be honest, Newcastle got injuries too, so it can't be all about that. But when you're just a new young team and there's pressure, and you need those players. But hats off to Newcastle.
Yeah, I think Arsenal were already like smarting from that North London derby loss as well. They looked low on confidence today.
So Spurs got a 2-for-1.
Yeah. Left them a bit damaged for the next one.
Yeah, now we got to talk to Martin, all happy in the chat. Thanks, Newcastle.
What do you guys think of this Arsenal season? Like, has it been progress, or has it been progress just marginally, which looks good on paper because the position has improved?
I think they still did better than everybody expected. Nobody at the beginning of the season thought they were going to be in a Europa League spot, at least not even the first Europa League spot. So, and we know they're going to strengthen the team in the off season. And, you know, this is the gradual development and the rebuild of a team. So they're just going to be, we criticized all their buys at the beginning of the season, and now we understand why they did what they did, or I do, and I can see them they're just going to get better and stronger, and you know, I worry about them for next season.
I mean, it's weird because I feel like this has been such a weird season for a team like Manchester United, for example, which, like, United kind of self-imploded and completely took themselves out of it. Like, they've been 10 points behind.
Bro, we didn't even play this week. You don't even have to talk about us. Like, where is this coming from?
No, my point is, like, because I think the general consensus is that Arteta has done a good job, because this is a team that finished 8th twice, and it looks like they're going to finish 5th this time. But if you dig a little deeper, they've scored 1 goal more than last season.
Oh shit!
They've conceded 6 more than last season. Their goal difference has actually gone down. And this is one stat that I keep looking every year. And
who are you working for, Martin?
No, but I remember the stat because I used to find the stat odd when it came to Arsenal. Like, when we talk about all of our teams, right? Like, you don't expect any team to be in the bottom half of any of these top 5-6 teams to be in the bottom half of any statistic. On big chances created, Arsenal in the last 2 seasons were 12th. So I try to go and see what did they do this season. They've gone down to 17th.
In big chances created?
Yeah. So the only team that are below them are Newcastle, Everton, and Norwich. Like, Burnley are ahead of them. Leeds are ahead of Leeds. Okay, you can say Leeds is an attacking team. Like, Wolves, which have not been attacking at all, are ahead of them. So I don't know. I mean, they've given Arteta a 3-year contract, but
you still doubt him?
I think there's room for doubt. Like, it depends on where they want to go, because now you can't complain about not spending enough. I think last season they were the biggest spenders in the Premier League, and they're spent in the previous 2 seasons under Arteta too. So overall, he's got. It'll be interesting to see how much exactly he's got. I can do that real quick here. But I'm assuming he would have gotten around 400 million to spend in the 2.5 years he's been here. So I think at some point you need to question whether there's genuine improvement, or is it just, some marginal improvement that can get knocked back pretty easy too.
Well, there's other things there too. Like, all those things do count, but when he got there, they had an Ozil that they needed to get rid of, or decide if they were going to use or not, and he had the bravery to get rid of him. That was a huge thing. Who else did you guys? I mean, did Arsenal leave? Aubameyang. So that was huge, and like just the whole storm of the Aubameyang thing, and then there's players that they.
David Luiz.
Willian. Yeah. I mean, although he bought Willian himself. And
yeah.
I think it got him.
So you would expect that this summer they're going to get a forward. If they get anything, they're going to get a forward, right? And
They've got one coming.
who did they pick out?
Not a number 9, but they've got a winger coming from Sao Paulo called Marquinhos.
Oh yeah.
I'm presuming that's Edu. That's probably behind that signing.
Is he a right wing or a left wing?
I'm not 100% sure. I don't really know too much about him, but yeah, apparently they a number 9 is their next priority. So I didn't think a winger was really that big a priority for them, but that's who they've gone for.
Yeah, and I think they didn't buy somebody in the winter season because they didn't want to buy a second choice or third choice.
Right,
they're saving that money for the summer. Yeah,
you're right. Someone didn't really get. But those are like some dope, important points that you brought up for real. It's like a lot of even Liverpool's improvement over the last few years and Man City's improvement over the last few years is the result of the bad management of other clubs. Like, who can manage their club worse to give the clubs that are challenging them a better chance of dominance over them? So Manchester United is definitely falling into the category of like top teams that can run themselves worse, or in a terrible manner to help out their rivals and shit. So we've definitely done that.
Yeah, Arteta spent 265 million.
All right, that's 100 million and change less. But
yeah.
But the money he spent, besides Willian, is all good money.
Willian was not any money actually. I think he was in the free transfer.
All right.
So
he wasn't even stupid enough to pay for Willian.
Yeah.
No disrespect.
I think he's on 200,000 a week or something crazy there.
Yeah. And yeah. So, I mean, I think it also comes down to like who can they get, like which other manager, if they let go of Arteta, could they have got? I think Arteta showed a lot of promise. It's very similar to how you remember how United extended Ole's contract because everything was looking good in a particular run, and then they didn't wait till the end of the season.
Right.
I have a feeling Arsenal might have jumped into the same situation.
I know. I think he's a good coach, man. Like, to be honest, I was always saying that until it was a certain part of the season. And then I was just convinced that he's going to be gone, and it was just going bad. But I just always feel like there's something there. It's just something about him. Like, that guy can coach. And today, Newcastle did that spoiler shit. I think they were revved up by it. It's their last home game. Like, everybody on that team, they weren't playing for Europe, but everybody on that team is like, this is my last game this season to prove to the new owners that I should be here next season. This is a train that's greased with the richest gravy, and I want to stay on this shit. Like, this is lobster, this is crab, this is like seafood towers. I'm not trying to go to some other team that ain't got this money. Like everybody's like with already the momentum that they got, and then having Callum Wilson come back, and a Trippier, I can't remember if he actually got in the game today, but like the level. First of all, hats off to Eddie Howe. Like it's a phenomenal job that he's doing. I didn't even know he had this shit in him. Like, he's doing the things with this team that he did, like, defensively too, like, which was an issue at Bournemouth. He's improved. And is Bournemouth coming back up?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's, what's his name from Fulham? That's Parker, right?
Scott Parker, yeah.
Yeah, so Scott Parker's back up, and Fulham is back up too, right? Without him,
yeah, they've got Marco Silva, the ex-Watford and Everton manager.
Oh.
He's at Fulham. And then Huddersfield beat Luton in the playoff today. Mm-hmm. So they're in the final. And then there's the second leg, I think tomorrow night, with Nottingham Forest and Sheffield United to see who joins them in the final.
Yeah.
A lot of
So
interesting
that'll be
shit.
interesting.
I was talking to my homeboy Lloyd, and he hates Liverpool. Like he keeps getting into it in the bar with Liverpool fans, right? So I'm saying, but you know, he's a Villa fan. He has season tickets, and I'm like, so are you gonna beat or try to beat Man City this weekend coming up on Championship Sunday and help Liverpool so that when you go to the bar, these Liverpool fans shit on you? And he's like, no, I want us to lose.
Steven Gerrard ain't gonna feel like that though.
But Steven Gerrard ain't gonna feel like that though. Like this is Steven Gerrard's chance to give Liverpool the Premier League title he wasn't able to give them as a player. Because it's Villa versus Man City. And if he can make Man City drop some points, he has. Do you think this is like for the slip? This is for the slip. You know, this is for the slip. This is the way I can give this title back to.
Hey, this is all assuming that we don't end it tomorrow.
No. We're going to talk about that too. Well, I'm just covering like one game at a time. I'm not ignoring you at all, because I feel like you guys are going to be on some spoiler shit and motivated by that. And Hudson, the last time he beat Klopp, he cried tears of joy. And I think you could tell that's the guy that put so much into that game to prepare his team for that game. So why wouldn't he do the same thing too?
This is for all the training sessions that Van Dijk missed when he's trying to go away.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then this is for
all those phone calls you made to take Van Dijk off us when you weren't allowed to.
Was
that's it? And also, Hassan was fighting for his job now. There's rumors that, like, you know, he might. There's
rumors that Arteta might get his job.
But no, there's fans who aren't happy with him. Like I say, the team's been diabolical the last few weeks. So he needs a strong game tomorrow. So, and we've had a lot of time to prep for this one too. Our last game was a while ago now. We didn't play at the weekend. So, I mean, we're in a good position as any to go out and put a good performance in. I mean, if, you know, someone put a gun to my head, I'd still say Liverpool going to win it. If I had to put money on it, I would put it on Liverpool. But, you know, stranger things have happened, and, you know, like you said, teams like to go and spoil shit, and I think we'll be in that mood.
Oh yeah, congratulations, Neil, on winning. You're in top 4.
Yeah.
He's not impressed.
No, it's good. It's good because I wanted some breathing space so we could probably potentially pay some kids who've been around the squad the whole season, give them some chances, give them some minutes next 2 games without any pressure. I'd like to see that.
All right, and that was good what you said, Lee. But we'll see what's up tomorrow. It's very, you know, Liverpool has to keep. If Liverpool wins tomorrow, are they tied with Man City again?
No, they go 1 point behind.
They go 1 point behind.
And then both teams have 1 game?
Both teams have 1 game. So,
and Liverpool currently 7 behind on goal difference as well. So they need to really come and...
Do you think
Villa can pump us?
Do you think Villa could beat Man City?
It's possible. Again, I think City should win.
Lloyd wants.
I mean, City should win, but again, it's the Premier League. Anyone can beat anyone.
Yeah. I mean, Pep will not want to end the season bottling both the Champions League and the Premier League.
But he might. He's not bottling it. He's trailing, you know.
He's not trailing. He's been leading for a while now.
In what?
In the Premier League.
Oh, you said Pep. Okay.
Pep, yeah.
But it's possible that it might happen. They might win nothing.
It's 1 game. Yeah.
It's 1 game. They might win nothing.
1 game.
What you have a season like this and win nothing?
they might have a worse season than us because at least we didn't have the hopes,
Right.
and we won the
But
Club World Cup
yeah,
and the Super Cup.
you won the Club World Cup. Exactly.
That's when I'll be talking about the Club
Like they
World
might
Cup.
win nothing. Yeah, exactly. It's hilarious. But also, will everybody be like, he should have got a forward?
Oh yeah, that's gonna come on. Yeah.
That's gonna come up.
Well,
and if
he
he
has the
doesn't,
answer. He'll be like, hey,
yeah,
now I got it.
yeah. I mean, he
Okay,
did
so-
try to get Harry Kane for 150 mil,
Yeah.
and Levy went too far. So it's not like they didn't try. But what if Man City doesn't win anything? What do you think of their season, both of you?
If they don't win anything, big failure.
Big failure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they set the standards to be.
I mean, it was
awarded
in
a
their
big failure.
hands. It was in their hands. Both these, like, they did the hard work, and then you don't let two of these go away.
Right. What do you think of Liverpool's season now that they won 2 trophies out of 4 potential already?
I think it's been a top season, and it's as good a season that you can expect to have. Of course, nothing is absolutely certain. You can only expect to compete, and then if they lose out of the Premier League by a point, that's kind of as good as like winning it. I mean, it's not as good, but over the course of a season, they have been as good as Man City. But yeah, I think Champions League, they got incredibly lucky. I think this is the easiest route to a final I've seen in recent memory of any team. And so now they just need to win one game. And
what if they lose
the
that
Champions
game
League.
and they don't win the Premier League?
Yeah, I think they'll feel disappointed a lot. But they got 2 trophies. They got the Champions League. They got the FA Cup, League Cup. I know as a Liverpool fan, you wouldn't be happy because you'd expect a season like this to end in either the Champions League or the Premier League. But you can be pretty proud of what the team has achieved.
That's how tough football is. Like, you're on the verge of winning the quadruple. You've won the first 2. And like, if you lost the first 2 and won the last 2, you'd feel way better than if you won the first 2.
I mean, even the first two, like, one was won on a key missing a penalty, and the other was asked to get hitting the post instead of going in. So as you said, like, football is so tough. Like, even there, the margins are so fine.
Right. Even if they win the first 2, like, the only thing that makes winning the first 2 mean anything is if they win one of the next 2.
Yeah.
Like, so that's crazy too, to like have a standard where you win 2 of 4, and if you don't win one of the other ones, somebody will laugh in your face if you bring up the other 2 and say you won that. What do you think about it, Lee?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Like, I mean, most fans and most clubs would kill for winning those 2 cups.
Right.
I mean, I remember the last time Southampton got to a cup final, it was a huge occasion.
Yeah.
I mean, if Martin was on here as well, he'd feel the same because Spurs never do anything either. It's it's an alien concept to them trophies. So yeah, it's just it's a strange one for Liverpool to be in that position where they need to win one of those 2 big ones, otherwise the season's not a failure. That's probably too harsh a word, but they'll be disappointed if they come away without winning one of those 2.
Lloyd would talk to them like it's those Liverpool fans like it's a failure. Bless you.
Okay.
But yeah, it'll be. I think it's just nice to have potentially a final day where the title's still in the balance. Depending on whether Liverpool do the job against us tomorrow, which is, like I say, not 100% a given. It's probably a 90-something% given, but it's not 100%.
Yeah, I don't want you to spoil the title race. I want Sunday to mean something, so I'm going against you, Lee. Sorry, Southampton, but I want Sunday. You know what would be crazy if, and this is just fantasy dreamland. Liverpool beats you guys, right? And then they go into Sunday 1 point behind. And then what they did to us when they won their first title, the noisy neighbors, happens to them, where they lose or they drop points to Villa, and Liverpool wins on the last kick of the game and wins the title from them. That'll be fun.
Because who is it Liverpool got on the last day? Wolves?
Let me see.
Sorry, look. Yeah, it's Wolves. They're home to Wolves.
Yeah.
Which isn't, I mean, if Wolves are in spoiler mood, it's not an easy game, but it's also at home against a mid-table team. So
yeah, I mean, Wolves won.
They should be winning.
What did Wolves do this weekend? I think they
drew with Norwich.
They drew with Norwich, 1-1. So
yeah.
I don't know. They're good enough to like be haters. Wolves could be like haters and bring it all. So not an easy road. I just want to talk about Everton versus.
Yeah, let's get into that relegation battle.
Let's get into this relegation. We'll leave the last for last. And Everton at home. Do they have any more home games left? No, they're lucky. They got one more home game left against Crystal Palace,
I think. Yeah.
which ain't gonna be easy. But come on, y'all. They can go down. Like, Everton came out to this game and they started hot, and they making attempts and everything.
Yeah.
And then there was a potential penalty down at the other end, and referee did not call it. The ball comes back up fast, and then Braithwaite, I forgot his name, but he brought down
He's another White Jared, I think.
Oh yeah. Let me see. Let me. These White Jareds out here making a name for themselves.
I think it's Jared.
It's Braithwaite. It's Jay Braithwaite. Let me see what his name is. Yeah, it's Jared.
Different spelling to Bowen, but still Jared.
Yeah, still a White Jared. Jared Braithwaite. He brings Tony down, and they're down to 10 men, and they still had a lead, Everton, and the score got tied 1-1, but then they still went ahead 2-1 on a penalty. I can't remember the penalty, but it revolved Richarlison.
Yeah.
And that shit
it was
is
100% a penalty. There were two players sandwiched him and tackled him, basically.
Yeah.
He just makes a meal of everything, man. It's just hard to.
He does, but that one was 100% a penalty.
All right. I'm gonna be a better man than Richarlison, and I'm gonna give him the penalty. But man, was I happy when those Brentford boys came back. Wissa got one, and Henry got one, and game over. Do you think they're going down? Is our dream going to come true?
No, I definitely don't dream of Everton going down, but I actually think Leeds are the one that might go down now.
Even though they got a point, they went down this weekend and they got another point. I don't want
this.
No,
but the thing is, like, Burnley are a point behind, so they just need a draw and hope less Leeds lose that game. But Leeds, but the thing is, Leeds' goal difference is so low, they can't do anything.
It's like minus 39 or something crazy.
Yeah, 38 minus 38. So they just need to win the next game. And I think they're playing. Who are they playing?
They got one game left.
They're playing Brentford. So they just need to. And Brentford, I think, are in good form right now. So
that's crazy, because they both Brentford and Leeds came up this season, right?
No, Leeds came up last season.
Leeds came up last season. Okay.
So Brentford need to, like, if Leeds doesn't win, then it's done, right?
Right.
Well, Burnley can still go down if they don't get a point out of the last 2 games. But Everton is safe.
Burnley.
You think Everton
needs something?
Everton's defenders, Mina and Keane, they're injured. They got.
If Leeds doesn't win, then Everton's safe.
You're killing my dream, Neil.
No, it could happen. Your dream can happen if Leeds win, Burnley win, and Everton drop some points.
Yeah, the probability is low, but it's possible.
I think the pecking order right now is Leeds, Burnley, Everton, but it can still happen.
What about on Thursday? What if Aston Villa beat Burnley on Thursday?
Well, if Aston Villa beat Burnley, then Everton will just need a point.
But what about
Burnley
Leeds?
Got on the final day?
Who have the final day? Burnley?
Yeah, who Burnley got on the final day?
Oh, no, you're right. Leicester, I think Leicester. Newcastle.
Newcastle. Yeah. People playing for new owners.
Imagine if Chris Wood scores.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's crazy. Like, all these matchups also look exactly the same. Like Crystal Palace, Brentford, Newcastle. Like, it seems like they're all playing the same teams. They're all nobody's playing a Man United or an Arsenal or Tottenham or a City or Liverpool on the last day.
Right.
So they theoretically, any of these teams can win, and theoretically they can lose. So it's actually a great. Whoever planned it did a great job.
It's almost as if they knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. That we'd come down to this.
Like, everyone has played Palace, and who else? Oh, Everton play Arsenal. Sorry.
On the last
day.
Yeah, Arsenal should take care of that after what happened today.
Well, Arsenal have nothing to play for, I think, anymore.
Well,
they can hope that Spurs get Spursy against Norwich, which is always possible.
Oh God.
Yeah, they know they have to win to get in, so they should do something. And let's see, Everton plays Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace is gonna give them one.
Yeah.
You know, like, I know those Everton fans are gonna be cheering.
Yeah, I take that back. Everton might actually go down.
Yeah. Thank you. Finally convinced you. Thank you.
Because, like, Palace and Arsenal are gonna be tougher opposition.
Right.
And even if they get a point, Leeds can still win.
If Everton get 1 point from 2 games and Leeds gets 3 points from 1 game.
Yeah, then they go through.
Go through.
I think for Everton, the clearest path for them to go through is hoping Leeds don't win. Because then they don't have to do anything. They can just sit where they are.
They can do what they've been doing all season. Nothing.
Yeah. They literally don't have to do a thing.
Just leeching off other teams to help them out.
Yeah. But again, there's a storyline there too. Leeds, Frank Lampard, stop crying, Frank Lampard, all those chants for the Leeds fans. Derby County knocking Leeds out in the Championship playoffs.
The whole spying thing as well.
That's how it began. So, there's lots of storylines there.
Yeah, too bad Bielsa's not there to carry the storyline all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll have a better picture of those positions after the midweek games.
After the Thursday games.
Going into Sunday, we'll see where we're at a bit more. There'll be a bit more of a shakedown.
Right. It's exciting at the bottom and the top. I'm probably more, for some reason, intrigued with the bottom of the table. I'm glad Manchester United didn't play or lose this weekend. It doesn't matter to me if we I do want us to beat Crystal Palace, but if we don't, I'll be like, all right, so what? But the only thing is Ten Hag is going to be probably on campus for that game. So
he is 100%. He's going to be in the dugout.
Yeah.
He's going to be taking training this week. Yeah, Dutch season finished at the weekend and he flew straight in.
I mean,
why is he in a hurry though? Can't he just like
because
chill?
there's a lot of work to do, bro.
Yeah, but does he think like
he wants to see firsthand just how bad things are. He wants to see how much work he has to do over the summer.
You want to it's a freebie experience. You get to have a virtual Premier League experience without the blame of whatever the result is.
Oh yeah.
And it's this. I like this. Like, you just won the trophy in Holland and you didn't even pick it up. You jumped on a plane.
Yeah.
And I heard there was a meeting in Holland with Murtaugh and McLaren and I think Mitchell, like the assistants, and Ten Hag, and like they're talking football. They're like trying to like, they're putting the time in, which is something that when you watch Manchester United play, it feels like nobody's putting in any time anywhere. Ian,
question for you. Do you care if you play the Europa League or the Conference League next season?
No, I don't care.
Because that's in play.
I want to play one of them.
Yeah.
Because I was saying last week, we need the reps for this system. So, you know what? It's probably be better if we end up in the Conference League. So we can play our system, practice it more against weaker teams, gain some confidence from the wins against some of those weaker teams, and make the players believe more. Because, you know, hopefully mentally they won't separate the Conference League from shit that they got to do in the Premier League, and like just get the players just more familiar with this system.
Don't you think that the Conference League might be too lesser of a thing to do the same thing that you're hoping for? No, probably give false belief. Like Europa League, probably a happy balance.
But here's the thing. If Ten Hag wins the conference, he has a better chance winning the Conference League than
the Europa League.
The Europa League, right? So for your first year as a coach, like to me, the Conference League is like Ten Hag is essentially playing in the Dutch league again, and he has a chance to win the Dutch league in the Conference League through the Conference League, and you just made a team win something that hasn't won anything. And it's you have to, this is not like Poch thinking where he's like, oh, that trophy don't matter. You know what I mean? Like,
what I would say though is Europa League does give you that extra shot at getting into the Champions League.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
But
that's the big thing.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Because you could win. I mean, you got to the final the other year. It's not out of your reach, especially with a better manager, to go and win that thing. So, and if you can't quite finish top four, then it gives you an extra route.
Can I say something? I don't care if we make it into the Champions. This is weird. The Champions League next season. You know why? Because when we don't win it or get knocked out of it, fans are going to get upset that we got knocked out of a competition we had no chance of winning and that we were inevitably going to get knocked out of. You know what I mean? And they're going to act like, I can't believe. And it's like, motherfuckers, we shouldn't have been in it. I don't want to be in this thing unless we can win it. And in 2 years, we get in, then I'll be like, we have a shot at this thing. We got the system. We got 3 transfer windows, or at least 2, and we deserve more to be in it than if we get in it next season, probably.
Fair enough.
So, any other last words or stuff y'all want to say?
Just this weekend on Saturday, live on YouTube is the Women's Champions League final. And it's Barcelona versus Lyon, which is going to be a really good game because they're 2 very, very good teams.
Yeah.
They're like probably the 2 top teams in women's football globally, I would say. So
where is that?
I think it'll be really good. I'm not sure where it's being played. Let me have a quick look. But it's, like I say, it's live on YouTube for free. So hopefully it gets some eyes on it.
I'll check it out.
Champions League.
Yeah, they've tied up with this company. I think it's called DAZN.
DAZN. The Zone. They do loads of boxing stuff. It's being played at the Juventus Stadium.
Oh yeah, all right. That's good.
But yeah, I think Barcelona will win it, but it'll be a very good game.
Yeah. And I saw Inter win is it Coppa Italia or Italian Cup this weekend. They beat it was a crazy ass game against was it Juventus? And it's so funny. Italian players do not care if they played for a team before. Just the same way Conte was a player for Juventus and coached them to titles and then coached against them. Like, there is no, I used to play for this team, I'm not going to celebrate my goal. Or I'm not like, what's the Chilean player with the mohawk? He plays for
Vidal.
Like when his teammates on Inter scored, he celebrated like he never ever played for Juventus and won multiple titles with them. He was on the bench, ran onto the field or to wherever the celebration area was, and was just like, I'm like, bro, you this is your ex-team.
Serie A is it's a Milan shootout this weekend as well for the title. You got AC Milan top on 83 and Inter on 81. One game left.
And they're not playing each other, are they?
No. AC Milan have got Sassuolo and Inter have Sampdoria. I think they'll both actually win those. I think they'll both win those games. So Milan should take the title.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. Let's see something.
Yeah, Juventus are all the other teams below are guaranteed to finish. Like Napoli have guaranteed third, Juve have guaranteed fourth.
Right, so Juve gets the Champions League spot. When is the Conference League final? So your boy Mourinho could win his first Roma title.
I don't know. Let's see, 25th. So 25th. The weekend after this one.
The weekend after.
So. Well,
is it the weekend or it'll be midweek?
No, it's midweek. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that deserves a midweek game.
Yeah,
because Champions League final is on the Saturday, isn't it? I think next weekend.
I think Champions League final Sunday. Oh no, you're right, Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah, the Saturday after the final Premier League weekend.
Yeah.
Where's the Conference League being played? Like on my elementary school's old playground.
I'm pretty sure it's in some, one of the lesser known.
Gym?
It's
a YMCA.
They're playing against Feyenoord at the Air Albania Stadium, which I presume is in Albania.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's in Tirana.
Those people don't have. They just sit on like cement blocks. The whole. It's an arena that they can't burn down. Like
it looks okay, to be honest.
It's okay.
Now.
Actually, some of these lesser known countries, their stadiums are actually better.
Oh yeah.
Because
it looks like a mid-level Premier League stadium.
All right, that's pretty nice.
Yeah,
it's probably their best stadium and one of the best stadiums in the league, or their best stadium period. Were they in the Conference League? Because they wouldn't play at a place that wasn't in the Conference League.
I think it's the national team stadium for Albania.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Let me see if it has any team in it.
It's not one of the club team stadiums.
You never know. It might be.
All right. I just want to make fun of Albania. That's all. Because I think they do racist chants when the England black players come there.
Yeah.
So there's Dinamo
Tirana. That's where I'm coming from. Huh?
Dinamo Tirana, the club. It's the national team stadium, and then Dinamo Tirana play there as well.
It's always a Dinamo.
Yeah. When you go out east, that's what it is. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't hold many people actually. That stadium, it holds like 22,500. But I guess it's not going to draw a big crowd for. It looks better if it's full, if it's small and full, than if it's big and empty.
Right. That's a smart call.
Yeah.
By the organizers of that competition. Any last words, fellas?
I want to shout out the Chelsea women's team for winning the finally somebody won a FA Cup final. So this is actually the second FA Cup final this season that they won, because they played the 2020-2021 final in December.
The COVID final.
The COVID final. So they won that, I think, beating Arsenal in the final, and then they won the actual this season's final, beating Man City. It was a great game, actually. Went up twice. City came back both times. 89th minute, and then make it 2-2, and then extra time. Sam Kerr, I mean, she is some player. Like, I think she should be the one doing finishing sessions for the men's team. She's just so good.
But you know what? For Chelsea, I would accept that, because
for
you
Chelsea,
guys have finishing issues.
yeah.
You guys
for
have
Chelsea
finishing issues for Chelsea, man.
She's just amazing, and the way she's like, I think she had a very poor first 3 to 4 months at Chelsea when she got in. She's missing chances, but she's just.
And then she stopped watching the men train.
Yeah.
Just hanging out.
Because she did come build as the world class player, and now she's actually the second season in a row she's playing.
She American?
She's Australian, actually,
Aussie,
and has a little bit of Indian in her family tree somewhere.
That's why you're bigging her up like that. I get it. I guess since you're talking about FA Cup finals and winning, I'm not sure when this happened last week, but Manchester United under 17s won the under 17 FA Youth Cup, and 3-1. There was a dubious penalty call, I think.
The first goal.
Yeah, even as a Manchester United fan, I'm like, I'm saying, just keeping it real. But we won 3-1, and
sold out Old Trafford as well, which is incredible.
Yeah, because the fans were happy to see us win something. They're like, it was a perfect season to win, because at least the kids try, and the fans want to come and see a team that's gonna try. And they fought and made it to the finals. We got this kid. We only had him for like a month or 2 or 3 months. And that's even legal. He joined the team like 3 months ago, Garancho or something like that. But I think he scored 2. But yeah. So shout out to Manchester United's under 17 FA Cup team for winning that. Anything else? Did we cover it all?
Yeah, I think we did.
All right, so guys, thanks for coming.
Thanks.
Sorry for your pain and your loss, Neil. And
I shall survive. I just tried to report the Lewandowski's linked to Chelsea, so happy days.
Oh, boy.
Can't wait to see Lewandowski not score for Chelsea.
Yeah.
I feel like you have one of these every year.
It's like the Bermuda.
Whose reputation can we ruin now?
It's the Bermuda Triangle for scorers. Like all your powers disappear there for some reason. I don't know. That's why it's like bring Tammy Abrams back. He had 19 goals.
He
in the
actually
Premier
used to
League.
score, yeah.
And then you iced him out and sold him. And
Bad karma.
All right. And Lee, that's it. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you staying up. And thanks for making it home, Neil. And thank you, Aaron Brungardt. Thank you all for watching it, the podcast, and listening. Like and subscribe. Tag people. Tell people. All the shit you're supposed to do. And enjoy the matches this week. And yeah, we'll join you next week, Monday, after everything goes down, to see who won what and who stayed up by the fingernail and who went down. All right, y'all. Be good to each other. One.